Okay, Adam, I've met Winston before.
Yes.
But I got to know, was he the Beaver from like Jodie Foster's Beavers documentary?
He was not.
Was he in Naked Gun?
Nope. No. Nope.
Like, is he a famous Beaver in some way, shape, or form?
He is becoming a famous Beaver.
Okay.
Because we're using him on Tested. He is the talking room mascot.
He holds the card that
He
tells
holds
us who's
the
going to
card.
buy.
So people, I don't know if I've noticed anybody in the comments noticing, but Winston is always holding a card with whoever I'm currently interviewing on the talking
Exactly.
room.
And well, it has the list of the previous people in the season. A couple of people have noticed.
Oh, good.
And they were suitably amused. But I think we're blowing the secret now.
Okay, so here's the thing about Winston is I live around the corner from a store in San Francisco called Paxton Gate, which is, if you haven't been, just go to it when you come to San Francisco. It is my favorite kind of store, full of taxidermy, medical glass, weird scientific implements,
Bunch of random stuff.
Yeah, a bunch of random weird stuff that I love. And Winston was in their window a couple of Christmases ago. And I walked in and I said, one girl behind the counter said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "I'm interested in the Beaver in your window."
You could have said that a lot worse.
I could have, absolutely.
Okay.
And she said, "You want to buy Winston?"
He had a name already?
He did. And I said, "If his name is Winston, I now totally need to buy him." And she said, "Absolutely." The price was very reasonable for a piece of taxidermy this beautiful, except that they asked me, could he stay in the window for another 5 weeks, because that's how long he's slated to be there. And I said, absolutely. I like taxidermy, but I'm very specific. I really like a good pose, a good attitude.
He has a very openness and a friendly gaze.
Totally.
His essential beaverness is unchanged through
totally
the taxidermy
unchanged.
process.
And so, the talking room...
Still a little creepy, though.
I know, but all taxidermy is a little bit creepy.
Yeah.
His little paws, his little
he's
claws.
so sharp.
His latex tail. So, Winston is the mascot of the talking room. And the talking room so far has happened in the library in my house. But not everyone I want to interview is coming through San Francisco. And so Winston needs to travel. He needs a travel case. And moreover, there's no way I'm going to check him.
No.
He needs to come with me on the plane. So I need to build a shipping crate that I can carry on the plane.
Of course.
And they'll let me put it in overhead
Perfectly
storage.
reasonable.
Absolutely reasonable. I will not check my Beaver. I need to carry my Beaver on.
I hope we can workshop some material as you build so that you have the appropriate sauciness of Beaver jokes.
Totally. So this is going to be a one-day build of a shipping case for Winston.
More boxes.
Absolutely.
Let's get started.
Okay. First things first, I am actually going to cut off. Yeah.
This starts with bisecting Winston. I'm going to be really sad.
No. I'm just going to cut off the leg mounts here.
Okay.
So this is a metal armature that held him to the original diorama that he was on, which was terrible. I hated it. So I'm going to cut these off. I'm going to put threaded inserts in his feet. And meanwhile, while I'm doing that, I'm going to think about the way to make this case the lowest profile possible with his tail. I think that if he is just about an inch wider than this, and this long and this wide, that he will actually fit in overhead luggage. He's slightly irregularly sized, but this won't be any bigger than a standard flight case.
I've seen much larger boxes than your Beaver will require.
I see musicians bring on guitars all the time because no one wants to check their guitars. I don't want to check my Beaver.
You can get a seat for Winston if we need to.
Absolutely.
Is that your cello? No, it's my Beaver. Okay.
Right, so, air tools.
I'll get out of your way.
Here. Okay, cool.
So are these feet latex too?
No, so whenever they do taxidermy, they have a foam form that goes inside the skin. So they actually skin the animal, soak the skin in some way to make it pliable, and then they stretch it over the foam form. And I think there's a lot of room for error, a lot of ability to hide crimes there. Some of the finer taxidermy is not a pre-molded form, but a form sculpted by the taxidermist.
Oh, okay, for the particular animal.
For the particular animal. That is the first time you've ever seen sparks fly from a beaver. So let us put some new mounting points into his feet. All right.
So these are just like a camera threaded camera mounting spot, right?
Exactly. Yeah, what it is it's a brass plug with 1024 threads on the inside and wide wale threads on the outside. And I'm going to put these in his heels.
And you want these mounts to be square with the floor, right?
I do, because I want to be able to attach him to kind of anything, right? He should be able to sit on a pedestal or on a diorama. I don't ever want to get rid of a mounting point. I was loath to cut off those feet, those metal rods, until I had a plan. That is a nice, tight fit. And this will be a nice way that he holds very positively into the case. I'll include a couple of extras of these screws and a Phillips screwdriver so that installing him and deinstalling him in the case is a very positive experience.
You're saying when you put the screws to your Beaver, you don't want it to be an unpleasant experience?
Would anybody? So let me get out a piece of wood. All right, let's see here. This is good. Okay, so he doesn't need any foam here. He should have a little there. I think maybe what he would have would be,
like blocks of hard
like
foam?
a block right here
that
and a block
matches
right
perfect,
here.
yeah.
So that it doesn't mess up his fur too much, you know.
Are you thinking he's going to be like a front open or like a fold out?
No. This is a clamshell, so it'll be in the size will be about this big in two halves. Yeah. I'm wondering if you're right about the Apple thing of making it wedge shaped.
Yeah, because if you do a wedge shape, if you do the foam blocks in here, then you don't necessarily have to hold him from the top.
Right.
Right?
Right. Okay, so let's we're gonna figure this out.
This is gonna be a complex box if you do a wedge shape, though.
That's fine. That's actually not that difficult. I just have to get a couple of angles right. So I could make that. Yeah, I could get away with 21, and I go there, and I've got that. Okay, so I'm going to cut two pieces at 21, and then figure out where I go from there. Okay. So, if what we assume is something like this.
Hold.
I actually think I prefer this to this. I think this looks smaller. So if what we have is 19 by 21 by, actually, just do it this way. So 19, 20 by 19. So that is 39.51.
It's borderline.
I'm in the zone.
Yeah.
I'm in the zone, and if people fit guitars on these things,
if you ask very nicely,
I should be able to carry this on.
Yeah.
It's a delicate, one-of-a-kind piece of art.
It is a yes. It's a Beaver that's been in your family for generations.
43, 45, 55. No,
it's worse.
Diagonal doesn't help.
But I think your volume will be smaller, and you might have a better chance of fitting in that size-wise thing.
Right, because
they're going to look at its thickness and height.
Right. And it will definitely fit in the X-ray machine this way.
And remember, you're dealing with people, they're not going to bust out the ruler. The TSA agent's going to be looking at it and saying, oh,
yes,
that doesn't look that big.
Right.
It's small for a Beaver. Compact. Even.
I think that's the better one to do, is diagonal.
I think it'll look smaller, and then you could put the handle on the long side.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's only going to be 12 inches. Actually, I can get away with it's about 11 and a half inches.
Yeah.
Oh, I could even.
Ooh. The paddle tail flexes.
Yes.
Is it easily removable?
Not easily, but I can see that I could actually.
I was going to say, because if you could take the tail off.
A second. Here, pull the wood off.
Okay. Back to the foam.
Okay.
I don't know that this is a good idea.
Hold on. Let's just inspect.
Let's see, he's maybe sewn in.
It's very glued. Yeah,
Okay.
You know what? No.
Okay.
So 26 by 19. Is that what we're doing?
26 by 17 by 12, I thought. Or 25 by 17 by 12 and folding it up a little bit.
All right.
Is that where we ended up?
17. Okay, so.
So now you're assembling the sides.
Now I'm going to assemble the sides. This is how I built the last box. Rather than, I don't like cutting the box once it's fully built. On the table saw, things got a little wonky.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape together all 4 of the sides of this box and then tape the top and bottom on with glue.
Okay.
And then I'm going to staple it all together.
How do you control the amount that are you going to smear on and then wipe off after?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And, you know, because I'll be hiding a lot of crimes with this, with weathering and stuff, I'm not that concerned about it being absolutely perfect.
Okay, tape up.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
It always amazes me how little wood glue you need to get a real good join.
I know. Okay, let me see that. Yeah.
I don't know, it looks really big.
What's that?
It looks really big right now.
Yeah, it does look really big, damn it.
It's too bad his tail's not detachable. That would make the whole thing a lot easier.
I know. Oh, here we go, here we go.
Oh.
I got it. Oh.
Oh, that explains a lot.
It does. Okay, tailectomy complete.
Sorry, Winston.
We now will achieve. Okay.
He'll be carry-onable by anyone when we're done.
Yes, okay, so. Okay.
You just nailed your beaver.
That's it. There we go. And that is that. Okay. I got his tail.
No.
Yes. Okay, Winston. You've been very, very good. You still look terrific.
Our long national nightmare is almost over.
Okay, here we go. Now. Oh gosh, yeah. Now I'm gonna pull off 6 inches.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take off 6 inches on that side, and I'm gonna remove that, right?
Yeah, that solves that problem.
And that take 3 inches. So 6 inches off the end. Perfect. Okay. So now, there we go. Actually, okay, everyone cover your eyes. Ready? And, sorry, Winston. Handsome. Yeah, there you go. So, let's see, where's the other
Right here.
Here it is. Oh, sorry.
I thought you didn't have it, so.
Good.
Good. 4 sides.
Yeah, it looks like crap, but I'll fix that. I'll hide those crimes. Let's get a...
Should we put Winston in and make sure he fits?
Oh, right, yeah, I guess there is that. Winston, how'd you do in there? That's good. Your tail goes there.
Okay.
And
we might have lost
like
the room
that.
for his hat box, but it'll probably be okay.
That's totally fine. That I will carry on with confidence.
That no problems.
Okay, so now the question is, let's put a, stay there, buddy. Let's put some lips on it.
How much of a lip do you want here? Half?
Not a lot. No, I actually think 1 width of the ply.
Well, those staples get sanded right away, don't they?
Oh yeah, they get dealt with really nicely.
You looked like you were just thinking about something and making a decision on the fly there.
Oh. Yes. Got it? Okay. Oh, there we go.
This looks perfectly safe. That's the single best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Isn't that just the most awesome?
Should he live in the other side?
The lid goes this lid.
Oh, right.
To a certain extent, you're absolutely right. So the question is then, he's got to mount into something, which means I need a hole.
Or can you put a base that he goes in on? There's enough headroom that you could put him on a thing that just sits inside, that just slides in even.
Right. But it's almost like what I want to do is have a piece of wood that comes up and over like that. So he screws to it here and screws to it through there. And then he's really being held nicely.
This is the first time I've seen you use a square, I think.
Ever. They're quite useful tools. So.
You're going to do this on the table saw?
What's that?
Are you going to do this on the table saw?
I am. Oh. Watch this.
This is the kind of thing that would be ill-advised to try without the sled.
All right.
None too shabby.
No, that's pretty darn good. There you go.
Perfect.
This is, we hold Winston?
Yeah, of course.
This is called a Forstner Bit. And it is a woodworker's bit. It's made for drilling a really nice, precise hole, and it carves it out and just leaves these beautiful flat sides. I recommend a Forstner set for everybody, and they're not that expensive. A full set of Forstner bits about $50.
Oh, okay.
Totally worth adding to your shop.
Much better than using a blade bit or something like that for the
Than
same
which?
size. Like a bladed.
Oh yeah,
Spade.
a spade drill is just exhausting compared to these. These are self-centering.
Oh.
I've actually clamped stuff under the jigsaw, under the drill press, and machined with them. Just hogged material out.
Wow.
And you can get everything from 1/4 inch up to a
Wow.
really nice 2 1/8.
Wow, that's yeah, okay.
And that'll cut a perfectly round hole. I mean, just like so precise.
Oh, I can't wait till you get searched at the airport.
I know. Okay, so let's see. Is that gonna? That is just gonna close.
You might need to take a tiny bit off.
Dude!
That's some craftsmanship.
All right, so I'd like this to look better. I think I should just put a nice radius on it.
Yeah.
Let's get Winston in there and get some foam underneath him so I know what foam to put where. I also want to figure out where his tail goes, and then I want to
Build a little slot for it.
build a little slot for it.
I mean, when you have it home, obviously you'll fix it more permanently. And when you have them out on the road, then it can just flap.
I actually think I can put a magnet in there.
Oh, that's not a bad
A
idea.
magnet in
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
And make that work.
I know we've talked about the Sortimos before, but every time I see you use them, it's like having all the good parts of a hardware store every time you open one of these cases.
I know. Let's pull these. Okay, so now the question is, what do I close it with? It's actually a nice piece of hardware.
Will it block your two handles?
Yes, it will block the two handles, so I definitely need to go like
Outside,
that.
outside, yeah.
Yeah. So let us actually start to skin it, and that will give us a lot more room to play.
You're skinning your beaver box?
Skinning my beaver box.
I'm starting to run out of steam on it, I'll be honest.
Paper, then felt. Paper, then felt. I think this is enough for Winston. The question is, how does this mount in? And the answer is...
You know, you could use the magnet
I could, but actually it'd be really nice if it was a pair of just elastic straps right there. Isn't that nice?
Oh yeah, I think that
idea is
makes
just
sense, yeah.
The tail sits right there.
Yeah, it's just in his face, reminding him, hey, where's my tail? I feel like he's pretty good. The only thing that worries me is I don't think the build is a problem. I think he is a potential.
What's that?
I think he might have, I mean, I don't know that he's sturdy enough.
Well, but I'm going to be holding him quite gently the whole time.
That's true.
Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, will you put him on the pool table? I want to keep him away from when I'm using all the noxious chemicals.
When you start,
Yeah.
when you start getting into a cup with the table saw and you get the little burns.
Yeah.
I mean, the best way to avoid that is to not get that happens when you get sideways a little bit, right? When you get off the
Yeah,
off
I think
the,
that,
off
yeah,
the fence.
absolutely. A good push stick, a nice sharp blade. Okay. That's usually a symbol that your blade's overly dull, but I don't think this one is. I think it's just my slight mishandling of it. Eyes. Now I gotta hit these edges with some spray paint.
Okay. So what kind of paint are you using, Adam?
This is a lacquer plastic coat, my all-time favorite high particulate.
Just do everything Wonder Paint?
It is a classic modeler's paint. It's the only thing we used up at Industrial Light and Magic.
Okay. And you had a good trick for getting this moving, because this might have been a little bit of an old can of paint.
Oh, this is definitely a 2-year-old can of paint, and I find these clog all the time. So what I do is 45 minutes before I'm going to paint with it, I soak it in a bucket of hot water. Mm-hmm. That was a trick given to me by one of the Mythbusters shop guys. And it generally works. Sometimes it's still too far gone and too gummy, but here's really hoping. Otherwise, this gets to be a big pain in the butt.
And you're not worried about filling in not showing that it's plywood.
No, because I'm going to be covering over most things with paper and with felt. But I'm going to leave a couple of edges that you'll see, and those are the ones I want to cover over. Like wherever I have a piece of felt that doesn't properly cover, if it's blonde underneath, you'll see that. If it's black, you'll kind of ignore it.
It'll just be dead space.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to spray paint this whole thing black, so it allows me to kind of just leave it if I want.
Yeah, so you can felt the Winston side, and the bottom side is going to have to stay clear, or else it won't close, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And if that gets weathered, if you start to see a little bit, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
So where do you get this kind of leather paper stuff?
This is actually, somebody found this. Somebody found the part number at Flax.
Oh, really?
This is sold under.
Oh.
Yeah, on tested site.
Okay.
So it's called, I can't remember what it's actually called, but I'm sure someone will post it.
And Flax sells online, so you can get it there, or you can go to an upholstery shop or a craft shop.
Absolutely. I'd say this is in the paper department of Flax.
Okay.
So how do we do this? Here's what we do.
It's almost exactly the wrong size.
What is?
The
paper?
The paper.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go through a bunch of sheets to get this right, but that's okay. Hold on to that.
Okay. Okay, so spray glue.
Oh, 74. I don't want that. I want 77.
Oh, of course. 77, not the 74. So when you're doing this at home, does total coverage matter, or just kind of want to get enough to hold it in place?
Total coverage does matter, actually. This stuff can crawl. I mean, on my Blade Runner box I didn't get perfect coverage on the Blade Runner box, and I paid for it.
Okay. So you're doing both in the edges?
Yeah.
And then how do you know which of these you want to use? I mean, there's presumably at least 77 different types of 3M contact cement.
There are, but 77 is their all-purpose kind of high-strength regular spray glue.
Okay.
If it's not 77, then it's going to be either a super heavy-duty tack like Super 74 made for foam,
okay,
or it's actually going to be specifically labeled light tack.
Super 74 is what you use if you want to stick upholstery to foam or something like that?
Exactly,
Okay.
or two pieces of foam to each other,
okay,
or to make fake spider webs in your haunted house.
Ooh.
Yeah. You spray it out and it'll literally hang kind of like silly string, and this
that's
is
fantastic.
how we did a bunch of spider webs for Harry Potter film at ILM. ILM did the under the bleachers in the first Quidditch game.
Oh, okay.
Let that set until it's...
You want it to be a little bit tacky?
Tacky, but not wet.
Okay.
If it's wet, it won't get a chance to dry, but once you've got it tacky, contact cement two sides of things and bring them together, and they will never... That's how
forever,
sneakers
right?
and shoes
Yeah.
are put together.
You know, they don't understand on a molecular level how glue works.
I've been wondering that. I've actually inquired to several physicists over the years about glues on a molecular level, because it's a chapter I wanted to put in my model making book, and they're like, yeah, well.
Nobody knows. $3 trillion a year industry. Huh?
You've gone and looked at thingsiwon'tworkwith.com, right?
No.
One of the greatest organic chemistry blogs ever. And I know those aren't things you think of as like, this could be great. Things I Won't Work With is an organic chemist who...
So like DMSO and all the body solvents?
But specifically, there are substances so volatile that they've only been, synthesized once in human history. Materials so vigorous, oxygenators more powerful than oxygen by far. Things that burst into flames vigorously at any temperature above 180 degrees below zero. That explode at any temperature like 20 degrees above that.
Oh, yeah.
Things that one
stuff.
drop cause an entire lab evacuation because the smell is so bad and persisted for so long that even working under a hood is not sufficient.
That's great.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Blink and you miss it.
It's going to be sweet. That's really good. I'm very happy with that. This. What happened there? Yes, okay.
Okay, so Adam, the outside looks great. Still some stuff to be put on. You got to bang it up a little bit, I'm sure.
We got some hardware to put on. I got to weather that hardware before it goes on. I've got to put the handles on. That should take about 20 minutes, 25 minutes of screwing.
Okay.
Yes. The hinge. The next step, felt the inside with green felt, make it look pretty.
Oh, okay. So how are you going to felt it? Just toss it in there, start stapling, get the glue?
I'm actually going to mathematically felt it. I'm going to table saw some pieces of mat board that are the exact templates of my felt.
Okay.
So the other times I've done it kind of like, that's close enough, and it's a pain.
Well, but with Winston, you could even just leave it kind of flapping in there if you hold it in the edges, make it a big bag.
No.
Okay.
I don't want to do that.
You're going to do this right.
Yeah, I'm going to do it right. Okay. So here we go towards the felting.
Okay, out of your way.
Let's see here. Time for hardware.
Okay. Felt's in.
Felt is in.
You felt up your Beaver box.
What's that?
I said you felt up your Beaver box.
Well,
I'm back.
You're not leaving me any work here. You're doing all the heavy pun lifting.
It's terrible. I apologize.
Okay, so let's see. This is
This should go. Does it matter? Is it sided still?
It's not. Whoa, ooh, the felt has actually added something.
Oh, a little tacky.
Let's see. That's a little better. Okay.
You're a little off on this side, though. Well, there you go.
Longer.
So what are you doing here? Just adding tarnish and patina?
Yeah, I'm just burning it up, so I'm changing its color temperature a little bit, so it's not so uniform and perfect.
Can you hold the other end so it stays square, or you're good?
So this is 20. And these are 6. Right. Okay, so let's
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that looks really nice.
It really does.
He opens flat.
It opens flat. Let's bring in Winston. Let's install him. The last thing to do. Okay.
Oh, I handed him one hand. I apologize. Tail, screwdriver, screws.
All right, so.
Oh, what a fitting home.
Where's his tail?
His tail is right here.
Okay. Where is that elastic?
Okay.
And I am going to.
You very clearly have a plan here. I have no idea what you're doing.
Okay. It'll all become apparent in a second.
Perfect. You could have just used some staples, right?
I guess.
Beaver tail storage.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Wow.
Winston is able to travel.
You know, there's a movie about this. It's called The Sisterhood of the Traveling Beaver. That's pretty good.
It's about 4.5 hours, 5 hours.
We'll give you
something like
4.5, 5 hours. Yeah,
All
that
right.
seems about right. Needs a little bit of weathering.
Yeah, I'm going to put a couple of labels on it, a couple shipping labels.
You'll
Beaver Dam,
You'll
Rodent Falls,
all the beavery places in North Beaver
all
Falls,
the beavery
Montana.
places that can go.
Exactly. Screwdriver storage. We'll count
Screwdriver
for extra
storage, that's the next
screws.
thing. Magnet for the
Magnet
tail.
for the
but
tail.
Just those two things I'll do tomorrow, and we're pretty good.
Looks pretty good to me. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the
that's
help.
Winston's Lodge.
Winston's Lodge.
We'll be back with more on Tested.com. See you guys later.